Well, it's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. And hold on to your hats because it's time for liftoff.
T minus
10, 9, 8,
8, 7,
6. Oh,
6,
I always mess
5,
up. All the
4,
time.
3, 2, 1.
I don't do numbers,
0.
guys. No es lo mío. I don't do
Ignition.
numbers.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Fingers crossed.
Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. Let's go.
That's right. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, folks. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. And if you guys are joining us in the live group, you'll see I just showed you some pictures with the one and only Richard Vaughn. And the good news about that is, folks, with Richard Vaughn, you're going to learn so much, not only here on his program. He also, like myself, has a community on Patreon, which if you want to follow Richard, it's patreon.com/Richard Vaughn Live, and you can get bonus content. Same thing with my online community, where you can get classes and, well, obviously tons of additional bonus exclusive content, and it's over at patreon.com. Check it out, Richard Vaughn Live, and of course, yours truly, Alberto Alonso. And remember, you got tons of content here on Vaughn Radio if you download our free app. Plus, if you follow us on social media, you're going to get content, a plethora of content every day, including videos, text, and all that jazz. Y todo eso. Welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm sure it's going to be magical. There's no doubt in my mind. And let's kick off with a little encouragement. Un poco de aliento. Not that you guys need it. No es que lo necesitáis o algo así. You don't really need it. You're doing a wonderful job every single day. I've seen all of you make progress. And as a teacher, that is the greatest thing. I was even talking about that yesterday. As many of you know, I interviewed Richard Vaughn yesterday for my podcast. So that'll be coming up in a couple weeks. I'm a couple weeks ahead, unas semanas por delante. So stay tuned. Remember, you can get my self-produced podcast for your English. It's a topic-based podcast, and you can get it wherever you get your Vaughn podcast. That's what makes it so simple. And if I'm not mistaken, let me check my calendar over here, but I believe our next episode is on, oh no, okay, no, not the next one. The next one's on pirates, piratas. So last week we looked at entrepreneurship. And now this coming week, we're going to look at pirates. The following week, donuts. And that will be the end of season 4. So then we'll kick off season 5 of my podcast with the one and only Richard Vaughn. So stay tuned. It's real simple. What you have to do is follow the podcast. And then there's a place where it says get notifications, que te llegan las notificaciones, which Obviously, that's important for people like me because I know myself. If I have to go check and see if my favorite podcast is there, I'm not going to do it. But if I get a little bing, hey, there's a new episode of Av Talk, que es uno de mis favoritos, Aviate para los frikis, los trastornados, I think they're called here. Av Geeks, ellos se llaman no sé si lo pronuncio bien, siempre me cuesta aeropuerto, forget it, Av Geeks. Why complicate it? So folks, make sure you are following us on Vaughn. You'll find out about all kinds of things that are going on. We've got our trivia night coming up. Trivia night, it's March 1st. Hosted by Guy Williams. It's taken place at Roll Madrid, as always. Calle de Amaniel 23. It's going down at 8:30, but I recommend people get there around 8. And it'll be hosted by the one and only Guy Williams. It's March 1st, 2023. Get there at 8. And it's Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights at Roll Madrid. I hope to see you guys there. Many of you have confirmed you're going to be there. If all goes according to plan, si todo va según el plan, my wife and I will be there as well. Barred some unforeseen circumstances. So barred es, a no ser que haya, right? Barred some unforeseen circumstances, circunstancias imprevistas. A good one to know because it's one of the best excuses. Like when you don't want to get into detail, I'm sorry, I have to call off the class due to, call off es cancelar, another way of saying cancel. I have to call off the class due to, debido a unforeseen circumstances. But that's not true. We're not calling off the class. Not today. If we didn't call it off last week when I was really under the weather, well, we're not going to call it off today. In fact, we got to get rocking and rolling. So I want you guys to get into it with me. I want you to dance. I want you to boogie when you hear these jingles. It's time for our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right. The pop quiz only on the show with no name. And here's where we're going to take a look at some different content. Sometimes it comes from my buddies on social media, and sometimes it comes from a Vaughn material. Sometimes it comes from one of my books. Remember, you can pick up all our materials at the Vaughn Tienda. And don't forget, folks, we've got a new initiative with Amazon's Alexa. Ahora puedes aprender inglés con Vaughan y Alexa de Amazon. Solo tienes que decir:
Alexa, quiero aprender inglés.
Bienvenido a Aprende Idiomas con Alexa. Hoy vas a poder aprender lecciones de inglés nivel iniciación con Alexa en colaboración con Vaughan. Podrás aprender desde nuevo vocabulario a pronunciación y mucho más. Cada lección contiene secciones de práctica y de preguntas. Empecemos. Veamos ahora 5 actividades con el verbo ir.
To go.
Ir al gimnasio es.
To go to the gym.
La G de
Gym.
suena casi como una H.
To go to the gym.
Dilo tú.
To go to the gym.
Correcto.
Eso es. Practica inglés con Vaughan y con Alexa de Amazon. Acuérdate, solo tienes que decir:
Alexa, quiero aprender inglés.
Esto sí que es un...
Buen comienzo. Te
That-
toca.
That's right, folks. It's your turn. Te toca a ti. And I hope you guys will take advantage of this. You get 30 classes, 30 lessons with 4 parts in each one. And then I don't know after that. But that I know that you have access to that. It'll help you with your pronunciation as well. And also a reminder, you've got Oxford School of English, Vaughan, starting in just a couple weeks in March now. We will be an official testing center. So again, if you want more information about that, if you want free content every single day, all you have to do is follow. And Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle. Y voila. Y ya está. No hay que hacer nada más. Now, if you're hungry for more, you're thirsty for more, then I know it because I'm like you. Like, I don't just, if I like something, I don't just, read books about it. If you see airplanes, I have airplanes. I fly on airplanes. I spend time research. So airplanes is something I love. I can't help it. No lo puedo evitar. So I go above and beyond, right? Now, fortunately for you guys, learning a language is an investment. Every time I go to an air show or go on a flight, it's my hobby, costs me money, but I'm not really getting, okay, except for that pleasure, that happiness, which doesn't have a price really, right? But it's not really an investment. In your case, every material you buy, every course you sign up for, as long as you're motivated, obviously, is an investment in your future. I've seen it before. I've seen it with our summer impacts. It's a 2-week course where we just hit you hard. And at first you're like, oh my God, my head's going to explode. But then little by little, you're like, I think I got this. And you see people make a huge leap. A leap is un salto, right? And it's amazing to see that. That's just one of our many, many things. So just to remind you guys, you've got books. I hate to call them books, resources, right? At our Vaughan Tienda. You've got online courses. You've got courses in person. You've even got those separate, the Patreons, Richard's community. You have a million different options out there to help you get hooked on English and continue to keep it up every day. It's like going to the gym. You know what I mean? You got to do, even if those days where you're not feeling good, you got to do a little bit. But don't ever think of it, what I'm getting at, don't ever think as, oh my God, I just spent, a couple €100 on a course or on some classes. It's not spending so much as investing, especially if you have the right mindset, la mentalidad. You got a great teacher, which that's what we do at Vaughan. If you're not a great teacher, you won't be at Vaughan for very long. In fact, you won't make it through the training process. I know that it's very rigorous and it's cutthroat. Cortacuellos, que significa competitivo. So if you want more information, again, our website is grupovaughan.com. What else? The website's grupovaughan.com. You got the tiendas, vaughantienda.com. You can listen to the radio just by searching on your smartphone in your app store, donde envías las aplicaciones. Search for Vaughan Radio and you'll have it there. And I mean, if you're not learning English with all those resources at your fingertips, you're doing something wrong. Thankfully, that's not the case. You guys have momentum. You call it inertia. We say the word inertia, but usually when we talk about this forward movement, esto que te llevas por tu propio peso, we call that momentum. And there's no doubt in my mind, that you guys have that momentum. All right. Well, today we're going to take a look at something. It's an exercise we do in the Vaughan method where we master the interrogative. Okay. And how do we do this? Well, normally in life, somebody says, what's your name? It's Alberto. Or my name's Alberto. And where are you from? I'm from the States. So normally it's question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. But today we're going to flip the script. Dale la vuelta a la tortilla. We're going to flip the script and I'm going to give you guys 3 answers. And I want you guys to give me the 3 questions that correspond with those answers. So this is like reverse thinking today, reverse psychology, if you'd like to. Oh, and by the way, before I move on, I just got a message here in our Masters in Inglés Profesional, in the face-to-face one, in person or online course, because you got both options. There's a 400 euro discount if you pay upfront. And I don't think there are many spots left, plazas. So if you're interested in doing our masters, I know right now there's a special deal. I got it moments ago. It's hot off the press, as we say, recién llegado de la imprenta. Think about that. We just said about saving money and investing. 400 euros off. Off es descuento de. So un descuento de 400 euros. 400 euros off if you pay al contado upfront, right, in cash, or a bank transfer. I think that's a killer deal. If you're interested, you can find out more on our website. All right, so let's get these. I'm going to get these right out of the Vaughn method. You can give me all three in one communication so we don't have too many posts, because if we have too many posts, as you guys know, it's just one of me and many of you, and I can get lost very easily. So try and put them all in for the sake of simplicity and not confusing or mixing up your teacher. Put them all in one communication, please. All right. So the first answer, I'm giving you three answers. I want the three questions. He's tall and skinny. He's tall and skinny. What's the question where I would answer that? Okay. He's tall and skinny. Number two, he's funny and easy to work with. Cuidado, fun, divertido, funny, gracioso. He's funny and easy to work with. That's question two. Okay. So the first question we're asking about his physical, what he, Calla Alberto. And the second one, we're asking about his personality. And the last one, those documents are theirs. There's your three questions. There are three answers. You give me the three questions. So he's tall and skinny. He's funny, easy to work with, charming, good guy. The life of the party. We're talking about his personality, obviously. And the last one is those documents are theirs. Son de ellos. All right. So if you can give us the questions that lead, the answers that, ¿ves como me cuesta porque es al revés? The questions that lead to those answers. Wow. Usually we have questions that lead to, well, you know what I'm saying. All right. So my amigos, as always, we're going to go on over to our virtual chat room. What's up? All right. Let's see who's on board and ready to rock. Front row center. There he is, born to Iron Man. He says, morning, friends. Double A and the big boss on the phone screen. That's right. Coming up soon on FYI. I'll tell you, you wanted me to tell you something? Because I recorded it yesterday. I was working on post-production yesterday and today. And I think you guys are going to love it. I learned so much, not just about Richard Vaughn, but in general. As you know, you can learn a lot from Richard Vaughn. So stay tuned. So yes, born to Iron Man. Welcome aboard. Good morning, beautiful show with no namers, says Laura. And she says, to infinity and beyond. Let's make the most of these 2 hours with our crowd pleaser teacher, Double A. I like it. A crowd pleaser. Uno que encanta al público. It's that soccer player or basketball player who gets applauded by the other team. That guy. No, cuando hasta el otro equipo dice, come on, man, that's great football. When Messi or Cristiano or these guys have been applauded in an away stadium, that's somebody, wow. You don't have to like the team. You don't have to like the guy. But if you like soccer, then you like the way he does it because he's got style. He's got flair. And some would say between them, the GOATs. Bah. No, not cabras. The greatest of all time. So yes, Laura, we will make the most of it. Let's see. Kubla. Good morning, glamorous proletariat. Kubla, I'm waiting for the day where you give me like a normal greeting that someone would really use. Again, I get what you're doing, but it's not helping your everyday English. I mean, if you talk to me like that in real life, I'd be like, what is wrong with this guy? Honey, get your wallet. Let's get out of here. This guy's weird. Just telling you, you know, my goal is to teach you guys a lot of vocabulary, but I want you to sound as natural as possible. It's funny, though. I got to say that. Ricardo says, morning, admired guys and double A. What's up, Ricardo? How you doing? Who else is in the house? There's Chris Valrol. She says, good morning, Alberto and mates. Let's go. Let's go. Awesome, Chris. Wonderful to have you here on board. All right. Let's see. Born to Iron Man, taking a stab. That was fast. Holy cow. Taking a stab at our triple challenge, our triple pop quiz today, coming straight from the Mastering the Interrogative section of the Focused Translation books. Again, you can find all of these materials at Von Tienda. Okay, let's go through them here. So the first one is he's tall and skinny, slim, skinny, right? Born to Iron Man says, what does he look like? So far, so good. Hasta ahora, bien. What does he look like? Right? Does he? Piensa el does he, nos comemos la H. What does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like? Y ellos? What do they look like? Ya no es does, right? What do you look like? And normally we don't answer the question with, I look like. No, you say, I'm tall, I have red hair, I have brown eyes. Because if you say I look like, then they're asking you a different question. Who do you look like? ¿A quién te pareces? Then you say, I look like my father. But normally, what do you look like doesn't answer. You don't answer with I look like. You answer with a description. So, born to Iron Man, 1 out of 3. Let's see. The second one. He's interesting, funny, charming, fun to work with, blah, blah, blah. What is he like? Perfect. Is he, pero como sabéis, yo me como esa H. What is he like? ¿Cómo es? Personalidad. And the last answer I have here is, those documents are theirs. And let's see, Born to Iron Man put, whose documents are those? Does that sound right to you guys? All 3 of them? It's absolutely right. Awesome, Born to Iron Man. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. Born to Iron Man. There's Laura. She says, what does he look like? Yes. How is he like? I would say, what is he like? It would be, what does he look like? And what is he like? Piensa que ambos empiezan con what. Pero uno es what does, and one is what is. Piensa el ser, tu personalidad es ser o estar. No necesita auxiliar. What are you like? What do you look like? El físico necesita un auxiliar. I don't know. Maybe it'll help you. So I would switch that interrogative word over there to what, just to make it sound perfect there. Laura says, whose documents are those as the third one? Great, great job. Wow. I see we've got a lot of people participating. Awesome. There's Chris as well. Beautiful, beautiful job. There's Leonardo. He says, hello, friends. Let's see how Alexa works. This is what Alexa answered me when I asked the first question in Spanish. What does he look like? I have to admit, I cheated. Great. I love that you're applying things that you learned. I mean, is that cheating, or is that just, taking the vocabulary you're learning and using it as soon as you get the chance? I say that a lot here on the show. Proximity is key. Because if I tell my daughter right now, if I tell her, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck? If a woodchuck could chuck wood. Okay, even if it's something short, right? I would have gone. If she's going to repeat that, the closer it is to when I say it, the more similar it's going to sound. Think about that. Because if you're like, oh, ¿cómo era? So that proximity, that urgency of sorts is very, very important. Folks, we've got to go to our first commercial break. I can't believe it myself. We are flying through the show. So much to do in the second part of the show. We'll be right back with tons more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Yeah. Remember, right before this show, you can warm up with none other than es el mismísimo, none other than Fitz. You've also got the Pro Bow Show in the mornings. And after this show, Ximena Holiday is back, baby. That's right. She is back. And she's ready to test your English and Nacho's English as well. It's Test Your English. And we've even got a book. And you know what the book is called? Test Your English. Well, that was easy. So if you'd like to follow along, you can do that with Ximena every day at 12:30. After that, you've got Rob and Andy with the Lunchtime Show. After that, Tosh Pasqua with Back to Basics. Don't forget to follow Tosh as well. She's been putting a lot of time and energy into posting and producing videos. Believe me, I know. I appreciate all the feedback, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have to produce more videos, more audio. Oh no. So sometimes I guess it's like everything, it can get overwhelming, un poco abrumador, providing content every single day. And as you know, you got 2 hours of content here every day. You've got content every single day on social media as well, not just from me, but from all of us. So my amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second part of today's show. And we're going to take a look at a section where we listen to a famous person speaking, and you guys have to break down what they're saying. It's called Say What? Say what? What? That's right, amigos, the Say What soundbite. And this one's going to be a lot of fun today. It's going to be a musical Say What soundbite. You know I love music. Oh, yeah. So today we're going to take a look at a tune. So maybe it'll be harder. You never know. Is it easier to understand somebody who's singing or speaking? Well, I guess it depends on how they're singing and how they're speaking, right? Maybe some people sing more clearly than they speak. I don't know. Well, either way, I don't think it'll be too difficult, knowing your level, knowing how well you guys do. So let's go on over to our Say What soundbite. Also, I've got a message over here from somebody. I don't know who it's from. I can only tell you one thing. It's not from one of you guys. And you know what I got to say there? Really? We'll end the section. If you guys are not into it, it's extra work for me. It's cool. It's just one less thing I have to pre-produce, and it's fine. I thought it was a good idea, but if not enough people participate, we're not going to do it. It's that simple. So if you're interested in participating and leaving us a message, you can do that. Send a 1-minute voice message, and you can send it to alonso@grupovon.com. If you've already participated and you'd like to participate again, just hang tight for a minute. Hang tight is no lo hagas todavía. I just want to make sure we get everybody to participate. But what I'm not going to do is, if we don't hear from people in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we don't get any messages, it's going to slowly disappear. What I won't do, and I'm not, you guys know me very well, is beg. Come on, leave us a message. No, it's for you. You're not interested in doing it. I save some time, and it's a win-win for everybody. You can just record your own audio, and you can correct it yourself, I'm sure. Or get your other teacher. I'm sure all of you have another teacher, right? You take classes, or your side. I don't know. Some of you are. I'm your teacher outside of here too. But once you're out of my hands, I'm not responsible for you, is what I'm saying. Now, those of you who are my students, I see you weekly, I see you monthly, I take that really personal. You guys, I can only be demanding, exigente hasta cierto punto, right? Because, well, you choose to be here. My students choose as well. But once you're on board, you're on board. So, membership has its privileges. You get bonus content, exclusive content that nobody else gets, classes, weekly, monthly classes. But also, I come down harder on you. Te doy más caña because you're my student now. On the show, I'm strict, but I let a lot of stuff slide too, because if I just sit here correcting little things all the time, it could take a while, or it could drag on. To drag on is parecer que está durando para siempre. But you know me, I'm always paying attention. Siempre estoy al loro. All right, well, here we go, folks. Here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe,
to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
It's the unreachable. Oh, sorry. I love the song. Maybe you might even recognize the song. But what I want you to do is first give me your observation. Before you give me anything else, give me your observation. And don't be tempted to Google it. As you know, it's a song. It's easy to Google it. That's not the exercise. So don't do that, because that's not really, what we're looking for here. I know you don't, but I'm just warning you guys. In this case, it's an easy one. If you can just put in 3 words of the song, you'll get the entire lyrics. So try not to do that, because that's not really going to help your English comprehension at all. All right, well, let me give it to you a second time, and we'll discuss. We'll see if you guys recognize it. We'll see what you heard. Maybe you recognize the voice. Maybe you recognize the accent. Here we go.
to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe.
To bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I've got to sing along. As you can tell, I love this freaking song. All right. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys heard. We'll take a look at some comments, but let's see who left us a message. I guess it's either somebody from my family or one of my friends from back in the day, because as I said, I haven't received anything from you guys in maybe a week, 2 weeks. So little by little, the section will disappear in that case. You decide. It's in your hands, as always. I test a lot of things on the show. I've been doing the show for a long time. So there are a lot of sections I've debuted, and 3 weeks later, they were gone. So I'm not in love with anything. I just thought it was a good idea. That's all. But if not enough people participate, then we will do away with it. To do away with es quitarlo, to get rid of it, deshacernos de ello. All right. Also, while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to give you our voice message today. Let's see who left us a message.
Hi, thanks for calling the show with no name. I can't get to the phone right now, so please leave a message after the tone.
What? Is this the Macarena? What? Are you kidding me? What is this, a joke?
Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo de esta será. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, y Macarena. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo de esta será. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, y Macarena. Ay. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo de esta será.
Sing it. Yeah, Macarena. Hey, Macarena. Oy. Tu cuerpo, alegría. Hey, that's how you learn a song. Ooh, nice white.
Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, y Macarena. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo decía esta vida. Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, y Macarena.
Whoa.
Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo decía
She really likes this one, huh?
Baila tu cuerpo, alegría, Macarena.
Hey, Macarena. Hey. There it is, folks. My daughter, the one and only Lara Alonso. Nice job, Lara. What language you want it in? English, Spanish? Thank you to my lovely daughter for participating in the section. She's already sent us a few different messages. She doesn't want to miss it. Speaking of my family, there's my dad. My dad says, "Good morning, Alberto and friends and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. FYI and A+. Thank you very much, Dad. In fact, you guys, since he's my dad, he's already listened to the Richard Vaughn episodes. So, yeah. See, membership has its privileges. In this case, in my family, I've already sent the 2 episodes to my dad. So, Dad, not here, but you can give me feedback later. I imagined you would enjoy it. Coming up soon, guys, for the rest of us. All right, let's take a look at our Say What soundbite. Kubla says, it's a male-female American duet singing what sounds like a love ballad. All right, all right. Oh, and then you got another comment. Please, guys, put them all in one comment. I'm going to beg. Te he dicho que no me gusta rogar. I'm going to beg now. Please, 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 please. Put all your stuff in one comment, or else I have like 7 comments from one person, and then it gets a little bit confusing. I know I've said this a million times, so please don't make me say it anymore. Don't make me do the part of teaching I don't want to do. You know, the disciplining, I don't like that part at all. I hate that part. That's why I usually work with adults. So please, guys, for the sake of simplicity, for the sake of the fact that there's a lot of communication going on, remember, this is communication. So remember clarity, brevity, and putting it all together, because if not, it can be very confusing for me, as I've said numerous times now. All right, so Kubla goes on to say, they appear to be saying something about fighting a foe and an unbearable sorrow, also about running where the brave dare not go. But I want it in your own words. All right, I get you. You're paraphrasing, but I want it really, really in your own words there. All right, I guess you have to explain this exercise again to you guys. Let's see. You guys are sending me comments over here. Kubla, again, I got a lot of comments from you here. He says, is that your little cherubin? She's bidding to become a showgirl. Well, a showgirl, though, but be careful. A showgirl is like at Paris, you know, the can. Those would be showgirls. I hope not. I hope she doesn't become a showgirl. My dad says, what a beautiful, lovely singer. Thanks, Lara. Thanks, Lara. Kubla says, YouTube won't let me post in one go. Well, why does it let everybody else do it? I don't understand. I'm confused about the dynamic of the comments here. Sorry, excuse my ignorance here, but I thought you could put, I know there's a limit, but I know you can put at least 4 or 5 sentences, because well, I'm looking at them right now. I'm seeing other comments that are the same. Speaking of Laura, let's see. She said, I heard a soothing song. Nice. A soothing song sung. I'm loving that alliteration there already. I heard a soothing song sung by a man and a woman. And right after that, I heard the sweet voice of a precious baby who could become a great singer in the future. Thank you so much, Laura. A soothing song sung. I love it. If you guys listen to FYI, you'll know I'm a huge fan of alliteration. And alliteration, Alberto Alonso. When words sound similar, that go together. So excellent job to all of you who participated. Let's move on, because as always, we've got so much to do. So let's go on to today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, amigos. It is our Spelling Bee only on the show with no name. And here's probably the toughest section on the show. So, OTSS, baby. Only the strong survive. And honestly, today's words are pretty simple. They're not too long, and they don't have to be capitalized. So, I think everybody should be able to figure out today's Spelling Bee. Let's take a look over here. Chris says, I heard a duet formed by a woman and a man, referring to the Say What soundbite. They're singing a beautiful song, which is talking about impossible dreams. And I hope they'll talk about how to deal with them. Excellent, Chris. Wonderful job. I don't expect anything less from you guys. In fact, Chris, you just said the name of the song. So, but again, the most important part isn't the name, isn't where it's from. It's obviously giving me your opinion in your own words, A, and then B, word for word, what you heard. But right now, we're going to move on to our Spelling Bee. This is the round for Super Show with No Namers, OTSS. Not for the faint of heart, no apto para cardíacos. Here we go, folks. Round 1. The first word is POCKET space DIALING. The second one is LANDLINE. The third one is MISSED space CALL. The fourth one is BREAKING space UP. UP. I just made up a letter. UP. The fifth one is GET space BACK. And the last one is SEXTING. I told you they were short words, but I went really, really fast through those short words, didn't I? All right, I'll give you a little clue. Is anybody going to pick that up? I mean, come on, you got to pick it up. We have an expression when the phone doesn't stop ringing all morning. We say, the phone was ringing off the hook. The phone was ringing off the hook means it didn't stop ringing all morning. Seriously, is somebody going to pick it up? Oh, man, I guess they'll just leave a message. All right, well, my amigos, let's take a look here in our virtual classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how you do it day in, day out, but you're not only fast, but they're perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Born to Iron Man. Wow. Awesome. All right. This is round 2 of your spelling bee. As always, I'm going to slow it down considerably. The first word is POCKET space DIALING. Okay, más lento ya no te estoy ayudando. The second one, LANDLINE. O sea, hay pausa entre cada uno, right? Not everybody spells that clearly. The third one, MISSED space CALL. And if you notice, I pronounce DN. Not everybody does that either. N or M. So you got to be careful. Not everybody's going to say it as clearly as I do. Again, I'm not going to say it on purpose. No, I'm going to say it the way I would normally say it. The fourth one, BREAKING space UP. The fifth one is GET space BACK. And the last one is SEXTING. All right, there you go, folks. Those are your words. As you may have figured out already, these words have something to do with the telephone. That's right. So as I said, our winner, Born to Iron Man. I see we've got Kubla, Chris, and Laura. I didn't check your answers, but check them. They look right just at first glance, a primera mirada, but check them either way. You can check them against Born to Iron Man's because his are perfect. All right, well, let's take a look at these words. And as I said, they're all phone-related words. The first word is pocket dialing. Now, this is something that we didn't do until we had cell phones, because you can't pocket dial if the phone's not in your pocket. Think about that, right? So before, we used to have a phone on a receiver and it was at your house. But the moment we started putting our phones in our pockets, and sometimes you lock it, sometimes you don't, well, you can dial somebody, you can send them a message. We've all done it. So somebody's like, hey, Alberto, did you just call me? Oh, I'm sorry. I pocket dialed you. Te llamé desde el bolsillo. And what does that mean? Me equivoqué. Que no lo he hecho, que le he dado al botón en mi bolsillo sin querer. Sometimes it's happened to me many times. I've pocket dialed people. So to pocket dial. And to dial, de toda la vida, es marcar. To dial. Okay? And if you think about it, the old phones, the old school phones, what did they have on them? They had a dial. Okay? Un disco, una esfera, un dial. Right? Those of you who are old enough to know that. So the dial. And then you have a dial tone, que ya no es algo. ¿Te acuerdas? Antes you would pick up the phone. You knew that it was active. It was a live line. But now they don't have a dial tone. So pocket dialing comes from the word pocket and to dial, marcar. The second one, this is almost obsolete these days. And I'm talking about landlines. Landlines. Do you guys still have a landline? Landline, bueno, literalmente es línea de tierra, landline. But really, a landline is what you would call un fijo. I know I have one here, like I actually have a number, but there's no phone, and I don't even know what that number is. So yeah, I guess landlines, they've kind of faded into oblivion. And to fade is desvanecerse, hacerse menos fuerte, de color, de intensidad. And obscurity, oblivion, I said. Oblivion es como la nada. Oblivion, great word there. All right. Obscurity is que nadie lo conoce ya, right? It's an obscure reference. I don't know who that person is that you're referring to. So landline. The next one, missed call. Muy importante. How many times have you said, dame una perdida cuando estás abajo? Right? Give me a missed call when you're downstairs. Now, I remember how I learned all these words in Spanish. Cuando vine a vivir a España, y me dijeron, échame una perdida. I'm like, what? Estás comunicando. I'm like, oh, you're busy. The line is busy. So I learned all these things by bueno, acabo de admitirlo, sexting. Yeah, I did texting too, but I also did some sexting. So remember, texting is mandando un mensaje de texto, evidentemente. It's a regular verb. I texted you yesterday and you didn't answer. Okay. And sexting, which is our sixth one, is when it gets really steamy. All right. Well, guys, I'm just realizing we have to go to a quick commercial break. Wow. When we come back, we've got homophones. We'll finish up our spelling bee. We've got Say What, we've got movies, we've got Double Trouble, and so much more. I can't believe it, folks. We'll be right back with the second half of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Oh, yeah. You know it, folks. The show with no name, English extravaganza. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of your interactive English show on Vaughn Radio, where you can learn English for free every day. A lot of people ask me, they say, Alberto, I want classes with you. I'm like, you already have 10 hours a week. If you want more, well, there are ways. But 10 hours, that's a nice English session every week. And I know many of you, you don't stop here. You listen to Ximena, you listen to Fitz, you listen to all my amigos on Vaughn Radio, because you guys are in the know. And even yesterday when I asked Richard Vaughn, I go, what's the number one thing? He goes, listening comprehension. And I said, really? Even more than speaking? He goes, yeah. He goes, think of a deaf mute, un sordo mudo. He can't speak because he can't hear. He can't hear what to... And I said, oh my God. It's like his vocal cords are fine. The vocal cords are working, right? So I was like, oh my God. It's true. Like when you... And then I see it with my daughter. I always tell you guys, she just naturally repeats what she hears. No filter, no... Why? But in Spanish, it's... She doesn't do that crap. I've had students tell me that, pero Alberto, en español no se dice así. I'm like, that's why I'm telling you. I'm like, that's why you should write it down right now. There's a method to my madness, como se dice en inglés. Hay un método a esta locura todos los días. All right, folks, let's kick off with a section we call homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And here's where we look at words that may or may not sound the same. But first, we need to identify them and what they mean. And so we know what they are. And then we'll decide if they sound the same or not. I'll leave it in your hands. The first word is Dios or Señor. And it's not only used in the biblical sense, like Jesus Christ, but also el Señor de la guerra. Well, en este caso is the ruler, el que gobierna, el que manda, right? So it's got more uses. It's also an, ay, Dios mío. So it's used pretty often. Also narcotraficante, Dios mío, we say it as well. El Padre Nuestro, it's in there as well. Oh, and I'm giving you guys a lot of information. Do you know that Richard Vaughn recites El Padre Nuestro? I'm not going to tell you in English yet. He recites this prayer is oración, with a Texan accent. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Amen. So you guys, I really think you're going to love the episode because we have fun, we laugh, we talk about music, we talk about learning, we talk about business, and most importantly, we talk about life and communication and all that jazz. So, and you guys are going to learn stuff about Richard Vaughn that I didn't even know. I'm like, are you serious? Aha! We're discovering so much. I can't wait to release the episode. Of course, we got to wait a little bit there. All right. So the first word, Dios, Señor, right? The second word is pork fat, or any kind of fat. You can have different kind, but usually you have here you make mantecados with them, right? So es un tipo de grasa. You say manteca, if I'm not mistaken. Also, si llamas a alguien esta palabra, le estás diciendo lorzas, o grasa, o manteca. El manteca es este, okay? You know what my joke is with the lorzas? Like when I tell my wife, when I ate too much that day, me pasé de comer, and I've got my stomach all bloated, hinchado. I'm like, babe, you can call me Federico Garcia Lorzas. Hey, all right. I thought it was funny at least. Remember, I tell you guys to play with words. I'm always playing with words as well. Let me give you our Say What soundbite. Again, this is the third listen. Please write down what you hear.
To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe.
To bear
With unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go. I can't. I think you can tell I love the song, and I think you guys are going to love it if you're not familiar with it. But let's go back to our homophones. We've got some people participating already. The first person to give it a try is Kubla, and Kubla says it's and they don't sound the same. All right. Interesting. Let's see what your classmates say. Oh, and just one thing, though. If it's the name of God, it's capitalized. So if you're just saying narcotraficante, no. Or Dios de la Guerra, Señor de la Guerra, que es una película with Nick Cage, really good movie. And I'm not a Nicolas Cage fan. But if just a little thing I'd like to point out, just like in Spanish, ¿no? Usáis el nombre del Señor siempre con mayúscula. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man agrees. He says they don't sound the same. Laura says they are not homophones. Interesting. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? So that's 3 of my super students who are telling me that these words do not sound the same. And I got to be honest with you. I trust them. I mean, we're going to check, but do you guys trust them? I do. And folks, we've got a winner here on today's Say What soundbite. Give it up for Kubla. Impossible dream. All right. There's Chris Valrol as well. She is saying that the words are not homophones. All right. Also, Laura. Whoa. So Kubla and Laura, you guys, I would say you two are our Say What superstars. You two are, I hate to say unbeatable because people always beat people and it's not about winning or losing, but you guys are spot on most of the time. Great job. All right, so let's go to the homophones before I forget what we're doing here. The first word is Lord. Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I can't make amends. Lord, or, sonido, pero no es o abierto. Lord. Oh, Lord. I forgot my keys. I think I don't know where, but I left them somewhere. Okay, so Lord. Let's look at some of the meanings. So, as I said, a drug lord, right? A drug lord is somebody who is not just a camello, because a camello is a drug dealer. The drug lord is the person who supplies the camellos. You know, think of, what's his name over there? Plata o Plomo. This guy, right? Escobar, right? So he was a drug lord, right? In the feudal times, right? When there was feudalism, there was the feudal lord as well. So lord can be amo, señor, as well as Dios. The difference is, si es Dios, you capitalize it because is there any other señor más que ese señor? I don't think so, right? In the Christian religion, obviously. So Lord. Also, you could say, oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy. Lord, which means, ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío. Okay? So, Lord. L-O-R-D. The second word is lard. So, oh, Lord, I need to buy some lard. They're not homophones. Oh, Lord, I need to buy some lard. And lard is something, it's a fat that you use to cook, right? A lot of people use lard to cook.
And also, I wouldn't recommend using it as, look at this lard. Don't do it. It's not very nice. But, just be aware that when you say somebody is el mantecas ahí. Also, another way we say it as well, we say if you have a lorza over there, you have a spare tire, una rueda de repuesto. A spare tire. So, Lord, oh, Lord, I forgot to buy some lard at the grocery store. There you go, folks. Excellent job again to all of you. Also, let's finish up our spelling bee very, very quickly before we move on. We had to look at the word missed call. Well, we just looked at the word missed call. Acuérdate, ese es suenate. Missed. A missed call. Another mistake, now that I think about it, a lot of people say, I called to my sister. Nope. I called my sister. Think of Blondie. Call me on the line. You can call me anytime. Call me. She doesn't say call to me, right? Or the one my daughter loves. Don't call me up. I'm going out tonight, feeling good. Now you're out of my life. Don't call me up. Don't call me up. No me llames. Don't call me up. I sing it to my daughter. Don't stink me up cuando me pone los pies encima. She puts her feet on me. They're not, but I joke. I'm like, don't stink me up. No me apeste. Hey, that's how she learns, In fact, she has quite a sense of humor because I'm always joking with her. So a lot of times she's like, Papi, I was just joking. Hey, key. Sense of humor. I think it's the reason I'm alive today. Okay. The next one, you're breaking up. ¿Qué? ¿Has cortado? What a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. I thought you guys were in love. Okay, that's to break up with someone or to split up with someone. Cortar en una relación. But if you tell somebody on the phone, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Significa que tu voz se está rompiendo en trozos. Mala conexión, right? Think about it. Sometimes I do that. Cuando no quiero. Sometimes I get a telemarketer. And they're like, hola, Alberto Alonso. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm literally like, fuck your mother. You got me. Okay, now I'm going to get you. And all of a sudden, I'm like, ¿usted tiene seguro? I'm like, yeah. And they're there. Hola, hola. And then I just hang up. But I love it. I get my revenge on these fucking telemarketers. I'm sorry if you're a telemarketer, but I can't think of a more annoying job. So you're breaking up. Or you can say there's a bad connection. I don't have service. I don't have coverage here, cell coverage. But the easiest way, you're breaking up. Se corta la línea, se corta tu voz. Okay? Get back. Now, get back is aléjate. Come on, get back, guys. Everybody get back. I need my space. But get back to me es devuélveme la comunicación. Puede ser un email, puede ser llamada. I love to teach this one because it's versatile. Hey, listen, I need to know an answer by this afternoon. So get back to me as soon as you can. Get back to me. Contacta conmigo lo antes posible, right? Get back to me. A lot of good vocabulary we need to know because talking on the phone, I've got to say, is probably the toughest kind of communication because you can't rely, even more than video conference, because you don't have the gestures, you don't have the facial expressions, so it makes it harder. It definitely ups the ante, sube el listón, pone más en juego. And the reason I chose these is because today in the year 1878, the first telephone directory was issued. Now, these days, we call it a telephone book. Right? We call it, de hecho, ni existen, yo creo. I'm sure they do, but I remember the phone book, the yellow pages, right? So the yellow pages in the United States, the yellow pages is where you find businesses. The white pages is personal, private addresses. So, but you can say the phone book. And the first telephone directory or phone book was issued today in New Haven, Connecticut. Beautiful city, by the way. New Haven, Connecticut. and that was in the year 1878. And the last one I'll teach you before we move on to name that movie, we've looked at this one before, pero viene de la guía telefónica. So if, for example, let me take my student Carmen. She's in Canarias. Or my student Lina. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Lina. Lina is in Baleares. She's in Ibiza. She told me, si vienes a Ibiza, me llamas, me dices algo, me avisas. En inglés eso es, look me up when you're in Ibiza. Look me up when you're in Canarias. Look me up es búscame en la guía telefónica. Pero ahora viene a decir, contacta conmigo. Dime algo. All right, amigos, there we go. And that look up is the same one we use on the internet. Because you can say, look for it on Google, but I would never say that. I would either say Google it or look it up. Consulta, eso es consulta, buscar, que no es lo mismo que look for. Look for, I don't know where the hell I put it. Look it up, it's there somewhere. I just got to find it in a database or on the internet. All right, my amigos, I hope that was helpful, but now it's time to go to the movies. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. And as always, this is the part of the show where we take a look at a movie, and hopefully you guys will be able to figure out this movie. I'm going to need some sound effects. There we go. Now we are in the mood. The alumni cast of a space opera television series have to play their roles as the real thing when an alien race needs their help. However, they also have to defend both Earth and the alien race from a reptilian warlord. Dios de la guerra, we know that word. Señor de la guerra, warlord, right? So I think of the warlords, in Africa, and these guys who walk around with like semi-automatic, they're like, I'm the leader of this country. It's like, oh my God. All right. Whoa. By force, right? So the alumni are people who used to be. So I'm an alumni at my school, right? I'm in the alumni association. Que es interesante, porque alumni no es alumno, es ex-alumno. Okay, in English, it's one of those false friends. The alumni cast, reparto, of a space opera television series. Now, normally it's a soap opera, un culebrón, but we say a space opera because this is a special one. And careful with that word series. It's not serious, it's series. It's the Apple Assistant con ese. Eso, para uno o para 20. My favorite series is Sopranos, and I haven't seen any series lately. Plural, singular, siempre igual. So they have to play their roles as the real thing, sus papeles, when an alien race, una raza alien we say, needs their help, necesita su ayuda. However, sin embargo, they also have to defend both Earth and the alien race from a reptilian. Obviously, a reptilian is something that is a reptile, right? We have amphibious, reptilian. We've got mammals. That's us. You know mammals? You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. No somos nada más que mamíferos. Así que vamos a hacerlo como lo hacen en Discovery. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Give it up for your amigo, Kubla. Also, Chris Valrol as well. Kubla and Chris. The movie is called Galaxy Quest. And that's interesting because a quest es una cruzada. I love that word. It's one of my favorite words. It's a quest. My quest is to teach you guys English, to get you guys hooked on English. Mi cruzada, I think. You can say crusade, but I like the word quest because it's short and sweet, right? Quest. And this is called Galaxy Quest. It's a movie that came out in the year 1999. I remember this movie very, very well. And what a cast. Tim Allen. You know what I think? I think this is where... A ver, ¿cuándo salió Toy Story? 1 second. Toy Story 1 release date. Let me see if this makes sense here. 1996, and this movie came out in 1999. Oh, no. That's interesting. Buzz Lightyear came first. Well, Tim Allen, the guy who does the voice of Buzz Lightyear, he voices Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. Probably one of my favorite characters. He's in this movie. Tim Allen. Sigourney Weaver, speaking of aliens, Galaxy Quest. Wouldn't be a movie without her. An alien movie, at least. And then Alan Rickman, the quintessential bad guy. And as I said, the movie came out in 1999. It's funny. It's one of these movies that you can watch over and over, IMO, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen for you here today. The crew is on a shuttle, transbordador, descending to an alien planet, un planeta alien. And Guy Fleegman says, I changed my mind. Cambié de opinión. I changed my mind. I want to go back. And Sir Alexander says, after the fuss you made about getting left behind, and to make a fuss es un escándalo. Quejarse. I don't want to. So he says, after the fuss you made about getting left behind, las quejas, tu pollo que has montado, porque te hemos dejado atrás. And remember, the word fussy is que sticky smeaky. I don't like this. I don't. Fussy or picky, right? Or finicky. Hay muchas formas de decirlo. Lo sé porque me han llamado eso muchas veces. Guy says, yeah, but that's when I thought I was the crewman that stays on the ship. Eso es cuando yo pensaba que yo era el miembro de la tripulación que se queda en la nave. And something is up there, and it kills me. But now I'm thinking I'm the guy who gets killed by some monster 5 minutes after we land on the planet. And Jason says, you're not going to die on the planet, Guy. No vas a morir en el planeta, Guy. And Guy says, I'm not? He says, then what's my last name? ¿Cuál es mi apellido? And Jason says, it's, I don't know. And Guy says, nobody knows. Do you know why? Because my character isn't important enough for a last name. Because I'm going to die 5 minutes in. Right? Esto es como ser guy number 3 at the mall en el reparto. Right? And then Guy says, Gwen answers, Guy, you have a last name. Tienes un apellido. You have a last name. And Guy says, do I? Do I? Gritando, he screams it. For all I know, por lo que yo sepa, for all I know, I'm crewman number 6. Yo soy el hombre de tripulación número 6. Mommy, mommy. And he starts making a fuss again. And then Sir Alexander Dane says, perhaps the classic line that every child has uttered. Utter es hablar, es una otra forma de decir hablar, decir, pronunciar. The line that every single kid, including you when you were a kid, has uttered. And that is, are we there yet? I think you say, falta mucho, would be the trend. En inglés es, hemos llegado aún. Same thing, falta, same idea. But you got to put that same intonation into it, right? Are we there yet? And my daughter's already started with that. So that is like I think that's something that transcends time and space. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the 4th and final part of today's Show with No Name. So stick around. amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name. I can't believe we are in the fourth and final part of the show. The good news, you've got an amazing day lined up with all your favorite teachers here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Follow Vaughn. Follow my amigos at Vaughn Radio. And of course, follow me. And I want to see you guys participating. A lot of you guys follow me, but then I don't really hear from you very often outside the show. Give us a hand. Spread the word. Come on. Sometimes I feel like asking somebody for a retweet is asking them, to give you their wisdom tooth. What do you call a wisdom tooth? Like, guys, you just got to press a button, that says retweet. And then your 20 followers or 100 followers might learn some English. Wisdom tooth. A ver. Muela del juicio. Same. Wisdom tooth. Yeah, a retweet, a mention is, I don't think it's a big ask. Algo mucho que pedir. Especially if you're loving it, you're learning. And remember, it's free. Man, I wish I had something like this in Spanish, right? Follow, interact, like, retweet. Let us know you're there. All right, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. And remember, I'm not just talking about me. If you like what Tosh Pasqua tweets or Kyle Miller or what they post on Instagram, share it in your stories. We really appreciate that, as I said, because it's just a way to keep growing and making Vaughn Radio bigger, making each of us, too, have more and more students. And it's a win-win. Our community gets bigger and bigger with people from all around this amazing planet. All right, well, folks, it's time for another challenge. It's time for Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, folks. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And as always, this is a section of the show where I give you a translation, but it's not your typical translation because you have to use the same word twice. And as always, this is probably the spelling bee. These are the most challenging sections. I mean, because you're joking. Do you get it? Great. Not, you'll get it at the end of the section. So there's not much to it except either you got it or you didn't get it, right? But here, we've seen people get it right using other alternatives. That's fine, right? But good luck. I think it's going to be tough today. Se le acusó de amañar o maquillar las cuentas. Espero que el juez le castigue duramente. Okay? Please pardon my Spanish if that's incorrect. Yo hago las traducciones. So, se le acusó de amañar o maquillar las cuentas. Espero que el juez le castigue duramente, ¿no? Que le castigue bien a esta persona. All right, there you go, my amigos. You have to use the same word twice there. I'm sure somebody will be able to figure it out. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite for the fourth time, folks.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe,
to bear
with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
This is my quest. Ooh, I just gave you the rest. This is my quest. Vosotros sabéis la palabra cruzada. Well, that comes after that. See how everything's linked? I told you there's a method to my madness here. All right. That was the last listen of our our Say What soundbite. And now we are taking a look at our double trouble. Yeah. All right, let's see. Kubla says, all right, I'll follow you as long as you don't call me a stalker. Well, yeah, Kubla, I don't even know. Do you follow me? I don't even know. I don't remember hearing from you very often. And I won't call you a stalker as long as it's normal. You know, so when you tell somebody to follow you, it doesn't mean write you 70 messages a day. You get what I'm saying. I don't consider you a stalker at all. Consider you a great student, in fact. Let's see. Leo says, I really love the real bites you are posting on Instagram lately. Yeah, thank you very much. Bites or tidbits. You say píldoras. Great word there, bites. And yeah, they're like videos that are 30 seconds to a minute. And I explain either a pronunciation concept, a common mistake, a false friend, a structure. So if you're not following me, okay, maybe I'm missing a follower, but you're missing out on some awesome content. And I don't notice if I lose a follower or lose 5 or lose 10 because I never look at those numbers. But I just make sure everything's growing. You know, if everything is growing, everything's looking good, well, that's a great sign. Just like you guys with your English. You don't want it to get stagnant. Okay, not every day is, wow, discovery, wow. But there should be a constant growth process, right? Even if one day you're like, oh, oye, estoy fatal. Fine. We all have bad days, but you should see that process, okay? Let's take a look over here, ladies and gentlemen, at our Say What soundbite. Kubla taking a stab at it. Nobody else taking a stab at it? Kubla's the only brave one? Guys, remember, even if you don't get it right, nothing's going to happen. You don't lose anything. We don't cut fingers off for wrong answers. No, you won't get punished at all. Let's see. Kubla says he was accused of rigging the books. I hope the judge throws the book at him. It's not exactly what I have written down, but it's right. All right. Let's see. Laura, he was accused of fixing the books. Yeah, that works too. I hope the judge fixes him right. You know what, Laura? It's kind of a stretch, un poco rebuscado, but it works. So what you guys have proved once again is there isn't just one way to say anything, even with the limitations of having to use the same word twice. All right, so se le acusó de amañar o maquillar las cuentas. I put, he was accused of cooking the books. To cook the books. Nosotros decimos cocinar los libros. Cuando decimos the books, en este caso estamos hablando de los libros de contabilidad, obviously. The account, where you keep the expenses, profits that you're making, the books, or your accounting books. In fact, we have in English, if you're getting paid off the books, no sale, es en negro, right? Is this off the books? I don't want a job that's off the books. So that book is libro de contabilidad en muchos casos, okay? So se le acusó de amañar o maquillar las cuentas. Nosotros tenemos cocinarlas, ¿no? Ponerlas a cocinar. He was accused of cooking the books. I hope the judge throws the book at him. And to throw the book at somebody is to make you pay for your crime. Now, usually corporate white-collar criminals, they get the opposite. That's called a slap on the wrist, decimos. Te dan un golpe en la muñeca, decimos. Y a slap on the wrist, literalmente es lo que te acabo de decir. Figuratively, a slap on the wrist is un castigo muy flojo. Like, okay. They stole millions of dollars and all they got was a slap on the wrist. Eso es realmente no le castigaron. It's very different than if the judge throws the book at you. Y yo lo pienso, al menos en mi cabeza lo veo así, that the judge says, okay, pues este crimen, según párrafo 3, guilty. Según párrafo página B, guilty. Toma. You're guilty of everything I can get you for. So he was accused of cooking the books, to cook the books. I hope the judge throws the book at him. That's a funny little, I'm imagining a little sketch, a cartoon with a judge. You know, there's a guy on the stand, siempre se me olvida esta palabra, en un juicio, donde dan el testigo, where they, the stand. Y es interesante porque normalmente no están de pie. On the stand, el puesto, no. The stand, raised platform, estrado. That's the word, estrado. So it's a funny one. You sit on the stand. Hey, that's funny. If you remember it, then you'll remember that word forever. So he was accused of cooking the books. I hope the judge throws the book at him. Great job to all my amigos who participated. And now we're going to move on to You're Joking. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. And as always, this is where I tell you some jokes. If you get them, great. You can explain them to your fellow students. If not, I always do afterwards. All right. Now, normally, if you have to explain your jokes, it means they're really bad. But since we're doing the language thing here, I try and look for words that have a pun, a double meaning in there. So, what kind of phones are found in dungeons? Okay, dungeon, you know it from Dungeons and Dragons. It's a famous role-playing game. Dungeon is the bottom. It's like a jail in a castle or something, right? A dungeon. So what kind of phones are found in dungeons? Oh, easy. Cell phones. Cell phones. In a dungeon? What's in a dungeon? Cells. Well, cell, it's a very rich word there, isn't it? Because a cell is in biology, célula. So you have skin cells, right? Then in prison, it's a celda. The word is celda. So it's a room in a prison, right? Because you've got the jail. Here, generally, a prison is big, a jail is smaller, and the cells are the individual ones, okay? I'm glad I never have to know that word. Man, but yeah, jail is usually, if you did something wrong and they throw you in overnight, public drunken, you go to jail, right? But if you go to prison, they're usually going to put you on a bus and send you somewhere, and it has this implication that it's big and it's for a long time, right? So cell, célula, right? Skin cells. Then we've got a room in a prison, celda. And also a cell phone, which comes from cellular. Many of you know your counterparts in Latin America say mi celular. Well, we say my cell. Call me on my cell. You can call me on my cell phone. It's a very famous song. Now, the British say mobile. But do you know what a mobile is for us? ¿Quieres flipar? A mobile in the United States is what Lara had over her bed when she was a little kid. A mobile, how do you call it? Esta cosa que va sobre, I don't know, lo estoy buscando, but I don't know how we would say that one. A mobile. Okay, móvil para la cuna. Se llama igual, móvil. Oh my God. So you have móvil. See, for us, it's mobile is the thing that goes over the kid's bed, que se mueve en círculos. That's a mobile in the United States. And a cell phone or a cell is your móvil. So just be careful. If you ask somebody for a mobile, I'd be like, really? You having trouble falling asleep? You can call me on my cell phone. All right, let's take a look at another joke since you love that one so much. Why did the guy from the capital of Italy have such a high phone bill? Una factura, right? So why did the guy from the capital of Italy have such a high phone bill? Well, he was Roman. No, he was Roman. No, nobody found. He was Roman. So somebody who is from Rome is Roman, right? But somebody who is not in their country on their cell phone is Roman. Now, Americans, ya sabéis, omitimos esa G. We don't say, I was roaming yesterday and it cost me a lot of money. We don't say roaming. It's too much. We say Roman. Were you Roman when you were in Portugal? I was roaming around Rome. So the words sound exactly the same. Were you Roman when you were with your Roman friend? ¿Estabas en roaming cuando estabas con tu amigo romano? Because he was Roman. No estaba fuera de su cobertura. Okay. All right. Just be careful. Because you say, so someone from Romania, because you say Rumania, we say es con O, como Roma, Romania, and people are Romanians there. So it's not Ru in English, it's Ro. So it can be a little bit confusing there. So I wanted to bring that up. All right. Could you picture yourself without your camera phone? No, that was the joke. Can you picture yourself without your camera phone? Imagine that. What? You guys are not getting the picture? Okay. All right. I've got some explaining to do. I know. To picture yourself is imaginarse. And to take a picture of yourself is hacerte un selfie. So te podrías imaginar o podrías hacerte una foto. Could you picture yourself without your camera phone? And then I said, did you get the picture? Pillaste la idea principal to get the picture. Hey, aside from getting some really corny jokes, I think we learned some really good vocabulary in there as well. But folks, we've got to move on. It's time for a celebration in today's famous birthday trivia. That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And I can't believe it. We are reaching the end of the show, but we have so much to do in the rest of the show. So let's put the pedal to the metal. The first birthday boy was born in 1949, an American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer, and entrepreneur. We looked at that word in FYI last week. And he began his professional career as a member of the band The Modern Lovers. But I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with that band. But then he became the keyboardist, el teclas, I think you say, and guitarist for the band Talking Heads. You know Talking Heads? When the days go by and the one once in a life. And you may ask yourself, how did I get here? It's a classic song. Talking Heads, they have many, many famous songs, but that one is definitely a classic. This person was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002 as a member of Talking Heads. And they formed in 1975 in New York City. The lead singer a Scottish-born guy named David Byrne, very, very famous musician. So this guy played keyboards and guitars in Talking Heads, and this was part of what they called new wave music. Not my favorite, but I gotta admit, they've got some pretty decent songs. You know, I don't like stuff that's too experimental, but again, these guys were experimental until they broke into the mainstream. And now, and you may ask yourself, you know, it's like a talking kind of thing that they do. Well, it makes sense, Talking Heads. And you may ask yourself, I don't know. It's like I like it, but I don't like it. I don't know. If it comes on, I'll sing it, but I would never play it. You catch my drift? You get the picture? Number 2, born in 1946. An English actor and director who passed away in 2016. And he was a member of the Royal Shakespeare Academy. He's very, very famous for playing roles in Dogma, Galaxy Quest, today's named that movie. He also played Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series. I'll have to take your word for it. I've never seen any of those movies. I don't have that kind of time. Also, Love Actually, Amor Realmente, Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass, and so much more. Definitely an amazing actor who will be remembered forever. He died in 2016 of pancreatic cancer. He was 69 years old. And last but not least, this person was born in 1955, an American actor, singer, and producer. He was on the show Cheers. You know Cheers? Cheers. Where everybody knows your name. Boom, boom, boom. You want to go where everyone knows. I don't remember the lyrics, but also he had a spinoff, which was very, very popular in the United States called Frasier. And I got to be honest with you, I've never seen an episode of Frasier. I like Cheers, but I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea, I guess. But there's no doubt that this guy is an amazing actor. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of amazing, Chris Valrol. She got our birthdays. Number 1, Jerry Harrison from Talking Heads. Number 2, the late Alan Rickman. And last but not least, Kelsey Grammer, which is going to bring us over to today's Say What soundbite. This is Kelsey Grammer and Cassidy Jansen, playing the role of Dulcinea and Don Quixote de la Mancha. So this is from the song. This is on the West End in 2019. He played the role of Don Quixote de la Mancha. And the musical, it's a great musical. If you haven't heard it, Man of La Mancha. And the song, The Impossible Dream. You're just listening to a clip right now, but trust me, you want to listen to the whole thing. It's totally inspirational, especially if you look at the lyrics. So he says, to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe. Foe is enemy, el que no puedes vencer. To bear with unbearable sorrow, aguantar con tristeza inaguantable. To run where the brave dare not go, correr, ir corriendo donde no van ni los valientes. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. To fight for the ride. Beautiful song. Check it out. It's The Impossible Dream. Here's birthday boy Kelsey Grammer singing it.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe.
Sing it.
To bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
There you go, folks. And it's time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. It's ain't no lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. It's ain't no lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. And we have officially run out of time. Today's song is Talking Heads, Once in a Lifetime. And you may ask yourself, right, and the days go by. And so I want you guys to look up the lyrics and sing it with me. And thank you for being here today and every day. It's an absolute pleasure to spend this 2-hour period with you, my super show with no namers. And the days go by. We'll see you tomorrow with more. Ciao.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun